Good morning. We've learned a lot today about how we can design and automate our processes with Appian. But how do we know when our designs and our automations are really driving the right business impact? And how do we know that we've maximized our automation potential?
To make sure that we are delivering maximum value from our investments, we need to have full visibility and transparency in our processes. By continuously monitoring and analyzing those processes, we can proactively make improvements. It helps to optimize our resources and leads to data-driven decisions. Gartner writes that 65% of decisions made today are more complex than they were just 2 years ago. And this has an enormous downstream impact on our operations. Most of us in this room have fallen victim to a suboptimal process at one time or another, whether at work or as consumers. Have you ever ordered a gift online only to log on a few days later and see that your order made its way to a distribution center on the other side of the country instead of your doorstep?
Or maybe you've been to the doctor or the DMV, and you had a set appointment time, but you still waited over 3 hours to be seen.
These are common examples of suboptimal processes, but they can occur anywhere. But it couldn't be us, right? Usually, we think our own process looks something like this: clear, well-defined, simple, maybe even linear. But in reality, our processes are rarely this simple. They might look something more like this. Processes can get delayed and go through unexpected paths. These delays affect not just one customer, but potentially hundreds, thousands, or more. Change is inevitable with people, policies, and markets, so it is more important than ever to have as much visibility as possible into your operations. We need solutions that give us that visibility when we have ever increasingly complex systems and processes. So that's what we're talking about today. Over the next few minutes, we will show how Appian's Process HQ can help you do 3 things: discover how your processes actually run, identify delays or unexpected behaviors, and impact change immediately in your organization. What's the ultimate goal? Happier customers, more engaged employees, reduced cost, and more revenue. Sounds great. Appian's Process HQ will help you measure and maximize the return on your digital transformation investments. Let's show that in action with a live demo of Process HQ.
We'll look at an example of an order management process for a company that sells IT equipment, things like laptops and monitors. We'll dive right into Process HQ, where we can learn about our process, its bottlenecks, costs, delays, its defects. Right at the top of Process HQ, I see my main KPIs, see my automation rate, duration, and orders that are violating SLAs. Below that, I can see my costs and my conformance rates, both holistically for that entire process, as well as broken down by each of those activities along the way. Appian is automatically able to give us these metrics by analyzing our event histories across the systems in our enterprise. This provides us with an objective and data-driven view into how our process is actually performing in the real world.
And you're not limited to just the KPIs you see on the screen. We have the option to quickly create our own KPIs. Here, we have a list of AI-generated recommended suggestions. These are based on your unique data and your unique business process. Of course, if there's a KPI that you want that you don't see here, you can also use the guided wizard to start from scratch.
So looking at our KPIs that we have here at the top, what stands out to me is that our order duration and our orders that are violating SLAs have been spiking over the last few months. Now, obviously, this is problematic and something we're going to want to address. So let's figure out if we can find a bottleneck in the process that might be causing this delay. We can flip over to the process diagram. This gives us a visualization of how our process actually flows. I can see the paths that it's taking, the activities along the way, and where those delays might be occurring. Jumping out right there in red is an activity for notifying the shipping vendor. Let's click into that so we can learn more. This gives us details about this specific activity, that it's taking 4 days, and that it has the same spike that we saw in our overall duration. We can now drill in further to understand what types of orders are encountering this bottleneck. AI automatically gives us the characteristics of these orders that are having the largest influence on the bottleneck. So this activity is taking us 4 days. If we were to speed up our orders in EMEA, we could reduce that duration by 2 days. Similarly, with our large orders and our orders that are being shipped by our vendor, Pioneer Solutions, we could drive the same impact here of reducing that duration by 2 days. All right, so given these characteristics that we see here, I think I want to drill into Pioneer Solutions to understand how they're performing further against our other vendors. All right, so Pioneer Solutions is in fact different than our other vendors here, so I think what we're going to want to do is save this so that we can figure out how we want to take action on this and work with our team to fix this problem.
You can see in the description on the right-hand side, this is AI-generated description that will tell you all about the details of this specific insight and why Pioneer Solutions is taking this long to ship. Not only that, but we see AI-generated recommendations as well that take the next steps that we can choose in order to mitigate the impact of this delay.
So taking those recommendations and collaborating with our team, what we learn is that Pioneer Solutions doesn't have an API for us to directly connect to. What this means is that our employees are manually logging into that system to perform this activity, and that's obviously slowing us down. So this is a great opportunity for us to leverage automation, something like Agentic RPA. That would allow us to mimic the human interaction in that other system so we could completely eliminate this bottleneck. So we now know where the problem is, what's causing it, and how we're going to fix it. But what's the real business impact here? What's this costing our organization? Well, when our processes encounter delays, we often have to resort to costly workarounds to make up for them. So in this case, we usually end up expediting the shipping of our orders to ensure that they arrive to our customers as soon as possible. To find out how much we're actually spending, this is a great question to ask our AI Co-Pilot. We can simply ask, how much are we spending on expedited shipping with Pioneer Solutions? AI Co-Pilot will automatically navigate our data fabric with the right security and permissions to bring together the data needed to answer our question. And we can see we are in fact spending quite a lot on expedited shipping. I want to further contextualize that though against our other vendors to know if we reduce the spending on Pioneer Solutions, will that bring it in line with the other vendors? So let's leverage the guided experience here to build out that visualization.
The guided experience has auto-selected suggestions so that makes it easy to find the most important data without having to be an expert in any kind of coding in order to generate a chart like this one.
This visualization clearly shows us the outlier with Pioneer Solutions in terms of spending, and that we could reduce it to quite a bit if we got it in line with the other vendors. We can now leverage the no-code report builder to help us visualize how this trend might go down over time as we see that Agentic RPA in action. We can change things like the grouping to see that month-over-month value, the time range we're looking at, any of the styling or formatting that we want to match our preferences. And once we're satisfied with how it's looking, we can add this to our personal operations dashboard. Adding a report to our dashboard is as simple as dragging and dropping. This dashboard now allows us to monitor the important metrics that I care about with my process. Things like the impact of the changes we're making to the process, and all of the operational metrics that I want to see on a day-to-day basis, like our order duration, the volume of our orders, and those active orders that I want to keep an eye on. This dashboard truly becomes mission control for our process.
But it's not just about passive monitoring. We can see at the bottom of the dashboard a list of all of our active orders that are currently in flight. And we've sorted these by days past due. So if there are any overdue orders, they'll show right at the top. The order that I see first is 5 days overdue. So I want to take immediate action. I can click into that order, and then I have the option to prioritize that shipment. This can kick off a process in Appian where I might have to pay the expedited shipping cost, but I'm able to get that product to the customer as soon as possible. Further, I can drill into that specific order to get more information and details about it. So if I click into this order ID, then it takes me directly to the Appian application. Here, I can see full details about this order, any correspondence that has gone on there, as well as any details that I might be interested in to understand why this has happened. Finally, I can take more actions here and get more into the details of this specific order.
Back on the dashboard, all of the reports that we have here are interactive. We could drill in to get more details, or we could dive in to find another actionable insight about our process. All of this together provides us with the necessary transparency we need into our processes to ensure that we're maximizing the impact of the investments we're making. So together, we've seen how Process HQ brings process intelligence to your organization. It enhances your decision-making by giving you unparalleled access to your process and your business data.
We saw that Appian Process HQ was that mission control center for your process. In just 10 minutes, we were able to discover a delay in that order management process, identify why the delay was occurring, and impact the organization by mitigating those effects. And if we can reduce those expedited shipping costs by solving that problem with the one vendor, we could save $500,000 or more. This kind of analysis can transform your business too, from top to bottom, allowing you to meet and exceed your KPIs, such as cost, timing, and revenue. Personally, that's why I'm here. I want to see a more efficient and targeted world. I want process optimization in every company, so that next time you order a gift online, it shows up on time. So what are your next steps to get started? Join us at the breakout sessions to dive deeper into process optimization with Appian. Or stop by the Community Hub for a custom demo.